up, Chipper Chaps? This is Chipper Chap Chat episode 123.
123.
And we're going to talk about some nerdy stuff. We're a couple brown boys who are Chipper Chaps.
Chipper. Pretty chipper.
So, uh, you've been in like traveling the whole world and stuff, so we got to talk about some news that we missed.
Oh, we missed plenty. It's plenty of
during that
stuff that
time.
happened. Plenty of stuff. Plenty of
Plenty of
stuff.
stuff that happened, but we're going to talk about a
Yeah,
segmented set of that stuff.
just select few things because of the stuff that kind of just interested us, really. There's too much stuff going on.
I don't even think you put it on there still, but
I
guess we're
didn't.
going to talk about it. But the Netflix cancellations happened.
Oh, I placed it there. I popped
Oh,
it
is
there.
it there? I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
see it.
They're there.
But Iron Fist and
Luke Cage.
was canceled as well. Iron Fist, I feel like a few of us can kind of see that one coming because it wasn't super well received, even though the second season remarkably better than the first.
If
And
we hadn't talked about it, it's actually leaps and bounds better.
yeah, the Mary character worth seeing that
She's
season.
great.
Just for her.
Yeah,
Uh,
she's great.
Luke Cage's season, I actually thought was way better than the first season
Yep,
as well.
I agree.
And the villain in that also fantastic. What was it?
Bushmaster.
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 Yeah.
He was phenomenal.
Yeah, that dude was rad. And
He
he
was.
didn't even have that accent in real life. I was
No,
like,
that's why I was like, wow, that's acting, bro. That's acting.
I loved that character. I thought he was great.
Mhm.
Such an interesting look. And he was like actually threatening and kind of cool, like interesting.
I dug him.
But both Iron Fist and Luke Cage ended their seasons on very strange tones.
Yes, and now we are not going to see these things.
Yeah, I mean, potentially.
Potentially.
We're not gonna see those things, but the producers did say that the characters are not going away.
Right. The shows are.
But we still don't know in what capacity that means. Like if they're gonna come back and do like a Defender season 2, which I heard is not happening, or if it's gonna be a situation where they start being like guest characters on Daredevil.
I'm fine with that if that's the case.
I think that would be wicked if it's that, but I think everybody's kind of hopeful thought is that they're gonna do some sort of Heroes for Hire thing at the Disney streaming.
I love that. Just give me that.
Yeah, but we'll see if that actually happens.
Give me that.
But because of those shows both ending on a weird direction, it's bizarre that they canceled them in that way. Especially Luke Cage, because that show was just so. It was like such a zeitgeist thing for the first season where it was like it broke Netflix and all this crazy stuff, and then it like fell off completely as far as the following. I think it lost some people with the Diamondback switch. Like people really liked Cottonmouth, and then they switched to Diamondback, and I think that threw some people off.
It did, but Bushmaster was amazing.
Bushmaster was excellent. So I feel like this: if the second season of both Iron Fist and Luke Cage had been the first season,
no cancellation.
No cancellation.
None at all. None at all. Because both of those seasons are like, this is now they're on to something.
Yeah, and even Jessica Jones, I really liked the second season. I don't know if I would say that I liked it way more than the season like I did with Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
I can't say that I did.
But I did like that season a lot. I just think it's really hard to compete without the David Tennant, like Purple Man character.
He's so good.
Yeah, it was hard to not have him there and not notice it, you know?
Yeah.
But man, the one that has consistently stepped it up, I guess we can just talk about it now.
We just talk about it now because it's gonna
is Daredevil.
Daredevil.
The third season of that to me is so slept on, man. Nobody's talking about it.
I haven't seen a thing about it, and it's bizarre because I just like maybe finished it like 2 days ago because I was away, and I didn't get a chance to watch it until I got until I'm here, until I got a chance to really, and I was just like, this is amazing.
And I was telling you right when you had left. Or I started Daredevil, and so far, this is my
Mm-hmm.
favorite season, I think. And
I
then I
agree.
finished it, I was like, definitively, this is my favorite season of
Yep.
Daredevil. And because Daredevil is my favorite of the
Yep.
shows, it's by extension the best season of any of the Marvel things.
I can agree.
Now, granted, I don't know if it stays the best season if it is without the context of the two seasons before this, because Daredevil season one was fantastic.
Yep.
Season two was great. The Punisher stuff was
Yep.
crazy, and then season three, like nonstop, dude.
Dude, it
I
didn't stop.
was so into it.
It was
They
like they consistently went. They they expanded on his world so
right.
much that
Mhm.
it's. I can continue watching this for another couple of seasons, and if they maintain this, I'll be like, sweet, this is probably one of the best things I've seen.
Oh yeah,
One of the best
and
things. Everyone is so good.
for people who haven't seen any of the trailers and stuff, uh, you got to see it, man.
Yep.
It's just to me, it's the best one. I feel like villain wise,
I want to spoiler talk it, but not yet.
yeah. Maybe we'll come back and do the spoiler talk about it at the end,
Yeah.
so that we can talk about some of the characters a little bit more. Or
But
maybe
for real, watch this if you've not.
yeah,
If you're into the Netflix shows, if you dug any of the ones so far, especially Daredevil, you need to actually watch this one.
and all the Marvel shows have like standout characters usually, but I feel like every character on Daredevil
It's
I
so
love,
good.
and
I
I
love
want
them
to
all.
see where they go.
All of them, dude.
All the side characters,
Every
all
single one.
even the stuff that they did to give more backstory and more three dimensionality
So much.
to Foggy and to Karen.
Dude, Foggy
So
and Karen's one was like, wow, I love them. They're the best.
yeah,
They're so good. They're so good.
there was none of the like making stupid plot choices just to move things along. Like, if in your head, if you're like, okay, somebody should be thinking this, then suddenly that happens, and you're like, okay, they at least tried it. It didn't go well, but at least they tried it. Whatever
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
and I think there's a lot of that, a lot of payoff.
Lots of payoff. I was gonna say lots of callbacks.
But Dex is to me the standout.
Dex is amazing. The actor
I
is
love my
phenomenal.
character. It was my first exposure to that actor that I am aware of.
And that's the beauty about it. Same as Bushmaster, don't recognize him from anywhere.
Right.
But because of that, they are that character. So I'm not like super invested in but like, I mean, Iron Fist, right? Mary. I recognize her from things, but she was awesome.
Right.
Mary.
The only thing I knew that chick from before that was I guess I saw her in the movie as well, but I only remember her as the trailer girl from one of the Star Trek.
Right, the second one.
On one, yeah.
Yeah.
Where she got her like super tight fitting boob shirt, and then they like put like a barcode or something behind her, and people were like freeze framing it on that like boob shot to get the barcode.
But completely different. Like from what you remember of her of that, she's an actor again. She did his thing.
Oh, such a good job, and
infinitely
both with the Dex character, who we won't say too much about, and with Mary. I feel like they were both improvements on what the character is in the comics, as far as I'm concerned. Like Typhoid Mary, I always thought that she was kind of bizarre looking, that like half face, and she had like kind of indescript, like weird powers that would sort of change, and I just thought like getting rid of the aesthetic version of that and just giving her the multiple personality thing,
so good, and she acted it so well,
really well.
And you knew who you were looking at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think she did a really, really good job.
And Dex was fantastic.
And I think Dex worked as well, and all the stuff that they did with him, I feel like worked every time. Where I was legitimately thrown by things where I'm like, "Whoa, I didn't see that shit coming at all." Yeah, just great stuff.
Highly recommended that one.
Yeah, as highly as humanly possible. I don't know why people aren't talking about Daredevil.
Yeah, it's weird. Because normally, like, you'd see a bunch of people talk. Are people just over it now? Are people over talking about stuff?
Legitimately, I think that the cancellation news drowned out. It
Yeah.
drowned out all the hype around it. People were just going, "Oh, I guess the Marvel ship is sinking."
It's like, no, this is the strongest they've done.
Yeah,
So I don't
and
know
they
if
also canceled Orange Is the New Black and a couple other like Netflix things.
all
It
cancelled
wasn't,
too.
only Orange Is the New Black.
It's cancelled.
Yeah,
Didn't know that.
yeah, and non-Netflix stuff as well. Like a bunch of stuff got canceled
Hmm.
very recently. Big Bang Theory.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Uh, I guess it didn't get canceled, but the final season of Mr. Robot and some other shit too.
Oh, wow.
A whole bunch of stuff got X'd.
I guess they're trying to open up the gates for some new stuff.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I
Let's
mean,
see.
not that there's any shortage of shit to watch,
Dude,
but
there's too many.
what's next on the thing? Is it
Well, I mean, speaking like continuing Netflix, Pacific Rim and Altered Carbon are gonna be made into animes that'll be released next year on Netflix. So
and
that's interesting to me.
does that cool?
The Pacific Rim one, I'm looking forward to it. I think I'd watch it. Like, I'm not sure who's working on it. I'm not sure what studios are behind it, but hey, man, I'll wait to see what it looks like. I like the world. I know people like I posted that thing on Twitter saying, "Oh, it's gonna be made, sweet," and then someone's like, "Isn't it weird that they're gonna make it a show that's essentially like influenced and inspired by so many other things?" And I'm like, more is fine. Just be good, and
Mhm.
also I like the property. I mean, I like the
Right.
first one. The second one was kind of just it felt like a cheaper sequel. But if it's closer to the first one, I'm down.
Right.
I'm down.
Yeah. But I feel like if you're making an anime,
Yeah.
chances are it's gonna be sort of more like the second one automatically, just
Sure.
because you're able to do more flippy shit
Oh yeah, yeah, no,
and
no.
all the weapons and all the like matching Power
Sure.
Rangers suits and shit.
Well, yes and no. I think that they can capture both. I feel it's possible. That's
Maybe
why
they'll
it really depends on what they do. I don't know I don't know what their goal is for the show, but
yeah.
right now I'll check it out. When trailers drop, I'll definitely peep them, and I'm sure we'll talk about them when trailers drop.
If somebody was like, "Hey, Chamba,
Mm.
come work on designs for Pacific Rim anime for Netflix,"
Sure.
which you wouldn't be like, "Oh, all the fucking
If I
robots."
gotta design it, that's fine. If I don't know, I'm not gonna animate it. I know like there's a one Japanese artist, Masami Obari. He used to do like all this fucking really cool shit. He did some of the stuff for like Fatal Fury and stuff like that. But in terms of mecha, he does a lot of them. I've got one of his art books here. But he actually just made a tweet. It's like, oh, they're making an anime. He's like, he'd be interested in like working on it. I was like, if they don't get him, they're dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
like I mean, if you look at the, I know you're not watching it, but the current Gridman anime,
Mm-hmm.
they take a lot of influence from what Abari did in anime. In terms of like his perspectives, his use of perspective is pretty legit, and also how he depicted mecha. So if current animation is already looking at his older stuff and taking that as influence, and if he's actually interested in working on this, get him,
Right.
because that's you can't go wrong there. And he seems like he's actually interested in the property because I think he was making other tweets saying like he'd love to see more of some of the older characters and such like, and some of the older mechas. And I'm like, dude, if he's excited about it, let him roll. Just let him do that. We'll see what
I
happens.
I have the first volume of the manga for Gridman,
Mm-mm. Gridman
and
or Ultraman?
I think it's Gridman, the updated one.
That's Ultraman.
Is it?
I think it's Ultraman.
What's the other one?
Gridman is the superhuman samurai cyber squad.
Yeah, isn't it that?
No.
I thought he got redesigned.
Yeah, he did, but they haven't got a manga of that yet.
Oh, then yeah.
Oh, the new Ultraman is also getting an anime next year.
Oh, word.
Yeah, that one looks pretty cool too.
Is Gridman also giant size?
Yes, he's actually very giant size.
Okay.
You should check out the anime. It's pretty dope. It's pretty
Is that
dope.
all from Netflix?
Um, it will be on Netflix soon. I've been watching streams on, I think, Crunchyroll. I think they're streaming right now on Crunchyroll. But I think that's gonna be. I think it's supposed to be on Netflix because it's on Netflix Japan. So I don't know how that works.
Gotcha. What about Altered Carbon?
Altered Carbon. I think it could make it a really fun anime, but it just kind of throws me off. It's like, wait, aren't they doing season 2 of the live action? And if they are, why are they doing it as an anime? Why are they doing an anime too? Like, where does this fit in?
Animatrix style where they do like an
Sides,
anthology
I
thing,
guess maybe as like just about the
show a
world.
bunch of people's different experiences with trading bodies or
Sure, I
whatever.
guess. I mean, that's one where I'll wait and see. I'll wait and see. But
If it did a Sense8 anime, would you watch it?
I never watched Sensei, so I don't.
But if it came out as an anime, would you watch it?
If it looked good, I'll check
It's
out
cool.
episode 1.
It's like a Wachowski's property in anime form about people who can like psychically link together.
See,
I
that
feel like
sounds cool.
yeah, I feel like automatically it's
Yeah,
worth a check out, you
sure.
know?
I'll check it out. That's what I mean. Like, I'll check it out. A lot of these things I will check out. However,
Yeah.
even though like these days, anyways, I haven't really checked out a lot because we're just busy with stuff. But
Mhm.
there's a couple of stuff on Netflix still, which I want to check out, but time will tell.
Also, not on the list at all, but there was an announced trilogy, I guess, of Walking Dead movies
Why?
announced. I think that they're going straight to AMC, but they're just
Okay.
like movie length things, starring Andrew Lincoln's Rick character, but separate to the show because his character is now off of the show,
Okay.
but not in the way that most of us thought he would be, in a way that apparently leaves him open to be in movies.
Really?
So
How does that work? Because I'm not watching, so I
I'm
don't
not
really,
even,
I don't know what's going
I'm not
on.
either, and I kind of know, but I don't want to like spoil it
Spoil it?
here for.
Okay. Just tell me later.
Yeah, I'll tell you after.
Yeah, but
But it's interesting.
it seems
It,
so weird. Like, this is straight up, let's milk what we can.
I think it was them saying we want to work with Andrew still and
The
continue
character.
the character, but also make it work for him because he doesn't want to do the show full time.
Yep,
And
yep. Wow, they need him that much. And it's true.
yeah,
Like, he
doing
was
full
kind of the heart of
time
the show.
over a few years is probably
He's
easier.
kind of the heart of the show.
Right, he's the lead.
Yeah, how he, like, that's why I was like, I don't
It's
know,
like,
man.
yeah, so it was hey, bro,
That's bizarre.
yeah, the Cuddle Time boy, special
Yeah,
guest.
social guest guru.
Um, but yeah. So anyway, next up, Spider-Man.
Next on the list, so Spider-Man: Far From Home is filming right now, which I
Yes.
know is throwing people off. It's like, oh wait, didn't he die? He's like, yeah, okay. Of course, it's movies. Like you knew there was gonna be a
It could
sequel,
be a prequel. You don't know.
right? That's true. Could have happened. What didn't?
Yeah, Doctor Strange said there's multiple dimensions. Maybe it's a
Exactly.
Spider-Man from a
Oh
different
shit,
dimension.
that's true. That's
Maybe
true. We never
you know
know.
it's a
This could be
new
one of
suit.
the alternate
Maybe this is
dimensions.
what the Stark suit looks like in this alternate dimension.
Sure. But yeah, they've there's some like set photo leaks and they showed his new suit, I guess, an update of his suit.
Yeah, which is like black and red now instead
Hmm.
of blue and red, and it has some interesting texturing on
Yep.
it.
The hands look different.
It's got almost like glovey bits on
Glovey
the front.
bits. Yep.
It's like a cool kid. And we'll see if it's right or not. But to me, the texture is very maybe Wakandan tech looking.
Right.
A
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. That's right. Because we were looking at a lot of photos, and you're like up close. You were like, I don't know, man. It's something like Black Panther-ish
Yeah, something
about
Black
the
Panther.
blackness, and not because it's
It
black.
has a
Duh.
grid
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
going across it of sort of like webs that sort of
Hmm.
reminded me of the nanotechy stuff that Black Panther had going on.
I'm fine with that. That makes sense. That
And
makes sense.
to me, the suit looks good, man.
Yeah, it
You
looks
know,
good. Didn't they also like
it looks
show
like a
leaked
stealth
photos? Yeah, that one. That's the one. They showed us.
that
Yep.
everybody was calling the noir costume, but it was like a black tactical thing,
Hmm.
which I think is going to end up being shield gear. Like maybe in a world where Tony's not around for whatever reason. I
He
don't
now
know if it's
works for
going to be a
Shield.
thing where he's dead or if it's going to be a thing where he's like, I'm leaving to go put a bunch
Space.
of movies in Pepper Potts or whatever.
I'm gonna
Because
plant some seed in Pepper Potts.
stuff in Infinity War, he was like, I had a dream that we had a baby.
Yeah.
We're going to get married. So I kind of think that maybe that happens. I think it either happens and they undo it, or them undoing it makes it the wedding happen, and then like all the people end up showing up for a big ass Tony Stark wedding at the end of Infinity War
And then
2,
it's
where
a
they
happy ending. Yay, guys.
a happy ending compared to what the first Infinity War
Oh
was.
yeah, I suppose it's true.
Kind of ship off into a new direction where
That film
Tony's
is like
tired
out in like half a year.
yeah, in May, man.
That's
We only
wild.
have like if it's almost December now, and that movie comes out in May, so
Isn't that
we're
wild?
like 5 months away.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's bananas. It's Banana Town.
It should be good. But yeah, that suit looks cool.
No, we're 5 or 6 months away. Question mark. Half a year.
Give or take.
You're trying so hard there, buddy. It's not doing so good. He's like, I'm ready for bed.
Yeah, he knows. He knows it.
Oh, the office.
He knows it.
So
Yeah, that looks good.
other than Spider-Man, though, connected to that, which also, assuming we did this correctly, there's some like artwork happening. We haven't mentioned that
Oh
yet.
yeah, yeah. This you should. We don't have to mention it because they should be seeing artwork
Yeah, you're
right now
probably
happening
seeing the Spider-Man
below
suit
us.
that we've
Yeah.
been talking
Hmm.
about. But also the other thing that we
We're
from
drawing.
that you might guess is that we've both seen Venom at this point.
Yep, which was like at this point over a month ago.
Right. We actually waited to watch it till you got into town.
Thank you for that. That was good.
And
I had a good time.
I had a good time with it. It
I had a
was
good time.
better than I expected it to be.
Yes. Yes.
However,
Oh yes.
still not the movie it could have been.
Nope.
It was at all connected to the
Nope.
MCU or Spider-Man. Uh, I understand why they didn't because it's way easier to not create any like weird like loopholes or plot holes or whatever if you don't connect it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because it's like a Sony property or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
Sony wants all the doll hairs. And so I think it worked for what it is, and it was way funnier than I expected.
It was, and it was legit funny.
I think my issue with it, if we're just gonna throw an issue out,
Yep. Spoiler
that
issues.
the action was sort of forgettable.
I don't remember much of the action, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I think the action was the most forgettable part of it. I think
Which
the
is
most
bizarre.
interesting part was just Tom Hardy talking to himself as Venom, and their relationship to each other, because the villain was shithouse and the action was forgettable.
Was
So
what it was.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it was what it reminds me of tonally. The movie itself, I think it's closest to like when they put out the theatrical cut of the Spawn movie, the old
All
live
right.
action Spawn, because it was like you could tell it was supposed to be rated R, but like some things were like cut back on.
Mm-hmm. They held back a lot.
I think, as cool as the CG cape was at the time, it hasn't aged well, and I think some of the effects in this are going to definitely suffer from that.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially once you get to the two symbiotes fighting each other stuff. I think was like,
Forgettable.
yeah, very
It
forgettable
was
and
Transformers 2.
yeah, very Transformers. Like it's just shit happening
Just
and tinfoil.
CG with CG human faces, and then
Right.
CG.
And just not well done CG.
No.
Because if it's well done, it doesn't matter. But
Yep.
it just wasn't well executed completely. But Tom Hardy as Venom was cool. I
He
just
was
think
great.
if it was Tom Hardy as Venom in a Spider-Man movie,
Ooh, would have been
I'm
infinitely better.
more excited
Yep.
about it.
Infinitely.
But for what it was cool, or what it was cool. I also couldn't get too excited about the post-credit like Carnage teaser.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that. When you said post credit, I was like, wait. In my head, I was like,
The
what post
post credit,
credit?
and they had like a weird thing where like everybody was clowning on Woody Harrelson's like mop
Wig,
wig,
yeah,
Raggedy Ann hair, and Sideshow Bob shit going on.
yeah, yeah. What are you gonna do though? The character has it. Could you
And
just have him
one of the
bald?
odder Stan Lee cameos
What was his
where
cameo again?
he was like walking his dog or something at the very
Oh
end of
yeah,
it, and like Tom Hardy walks by him and he's like, I'm glad you guys are giving it a shot again. You shouldn't give up on each other. Neither of you
yeah. It's like
doing
wink,
fine.
wink.
You gotta,
Remember, I'm one of the. I work with the watchers, so I see.
but
I
not
don't. Yeah,
consistently.
I'm not
Not
consistent.
with
Yeah, that's true.
the non-MCU stuff.
That's
Only in
right.
the MCU is he one of the
That's
watchers.
true. That's true. That's true.
And even then, he's just homies with him. He's
Yeah,
not one
yeah.
of
That's true. But he knows what's going on. They
them.
should just
But
make him the main one. Anyways, yeah, the film was. It was fun. It was a fun film, as you said.
why did they
The
have any
fighting
other
is.
symbiotes in it? Why wasn't it? Why was there only Riot?
I
Why,
don't
like,
know, man.
if you're gonna do a movie with no carnage, have them fight all five of those other symbiotes.
They teased the other symbiotes.
They did, but nothing.
They
But
also
nothing.
mentioned more of us on our planet and blah. I'm like, all right, man.
Yeah.
That means you
I
can
think one
eventually
of the
go
most
there.
solid scenes of the whole movie is Tom Hardy losing his mind and eating a bunch of live lobsters in
Yeah,
a
that was great. That was
that
great.
scene was hilarious. And not enough of that stuff was in there for sure.
Them two together, as in by them two, it's Eddie and the symbiote are
Hmm.
great.
Yeah. In that way, it reminded me of my experience watching like
TMNT.
the I was just gonna say the
Yeah.
Bayformers Turtles
Mm-hmm.
movies where it's like I like them,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like the movie they're in.
Yes, and also getting close to that, the look of Venom, his face looked fine. No
Right.
Spidey, obviously, for reasons obvious.
Right.
His size was good. But I'm like, you're kind of just not even Venom. You're Venom in name and in, I
Right.
guess, your attitude wasn't real. Was he Eddie? That doesn't matter at this point. He was who he was in the film. The film doesn't necessarily have to be what the comic is,
The
but
Venom monster seemed pretty accurate.
yeah.
Not at all how I imagined Eddie Brock as
No,
a
no,
character.
not at all. But
In
fine.
some
It was
ways,
fine. It
Topher
worked.
Grace was more accurate.
Who?
Topher Grace, in some ways, his
Yes. He
his
didn't
Eddie Brock was
look
more
like
accurate.
him.
Like yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't taken seriously. It was still very campy, but him, being like a cocky other photographer
Mm-hmm.
and being bad at his job and cheating was
That's Eddie.
that's Eddie.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
and I think that they kind of hinted at some of that. They hinted at him doing his job in a shady way,
Yes, yes.
and they also hinted at him losing his job at a New York newspaper that wasn't the Daily Bugle
Yeah, yeah.
over something, but they didn't get into what it was.
Was
They just
it
said
something like
kind of
Globe
run
or
down the
something?
town.
Did they even
I think it
name
was
it?
like the Daily Globe or
Something
something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
And oh, there was one other Spider-Man reference that I noticed. It was the very beginning when they're showing the spacecraft come back
Oh,
with
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
and they had taken over somebody,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and the victim that they name is a Jameson. They
Jameson,
don't
which was
say
nice.
they don't say John Jameson.
No,
They just say Jameson,
which I
uh,
like.
which I like that they have
Yes,
it be Jameson,
but
but it was like as loose a connection as you
that's
could
why it's
possibly
almost
have.
like I'm gonna give you some little teasers, but they're nothing.
Yeah, and
I'm
there
gonna
was
give
all
you
the
some
like
nothings.
hoopla about like people had seen Tom Holland on the Venom set and stuff like that, and none of that ended up
Yeah,
happening.
if that happened, it wasn't in a screen.
Yeah, or I wonder if they like teased the idea of like filming some stuff and it just didn't make the cut because they
Yeah,
couldn't make the deal with Marvel.
sure.
But in any case, it's a Spider-Man-less Venom verse.
Which
Um,
automatically you're at negative. If you start
yeah,
off like that way, you're in negative already, which means you have to do so much more just to get back into positive.
yeah.
Did they reach that?
I don't know. Maybe not for me. I mean,
Nah.
again, it's like Turtles.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
really liked Hardy as Eddie, and I liked
Yes.
Venom.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I care if they make another one,
No, that's the
and
thing. Yes.
he's gonna be in a Spider-Man movie. I
I
don't know.
was we weren't we saying this like after the film was done? We were
Yeah.
like, it was fun, it's
Hmm.
forgettable, and I don't care if they make a sequel. But I had a good time in the cinema.
Right. And if they bring this Eddie back to do something in the MCU, I'm fine with it.
Mm.
I just super don't care to see more solo Venom movies because this is going to be him fighting more symbiotes. We've seen it.
Yeah, we have.
You know? So I want to see Eddie Brock fight another kind of character that's not the symbiote again. Like
Right.
it's different when he's fighting Spider-Man because they have similar powers, but they're very different silhouettes. They're
Yep.
very different things they can do. So it's different than when he's like, "I'm fighting Venom, but he's bigger and he's got sharp
Yeah,
hands."
that's why it was weird. I'm like, it became the whole Iron Man villain syndrome
Yeah,
where
Iron Man versus
you're
Iron
just
Man
even.
type
Hey, I
deal.
know everyone loves Black Panther, but it was exactly the same thing. Black Panther's
And
villain was
and what
bloody.
we say when we saw Black Panther, that was the weakest part of it is
It
that
was.
Killmonger was dope. He didn't have to be gold Black Panther at the end.
Also, that
Like,
again with Black Panther, that CG fight scene was garbage.
yeah, it was the worst part of the whole thing.
It
It was
kind of
the
was like, oh, cool, I'm taken out of the film. Kind
yeah,
of.
right. Just watching two like
CG. You can tell it's CG as well. It doesn't
animated
help.
characters
Uh,
around. In any case,
do you
I
want to
think
start talking about the Daredevil stuff? The
do
spoiler
we want
stuff?
to start talking about it?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it as a separate thing so we can go
Yeah,
ham about
sure.
it.
Let's do that. Because we'll keep this one nice and short, kind of like yeah, keep them shorter.
Uh, oh, I was gonna say something. I forget it.
About Venom?
Maybe. Uh, uh, I lost it. I lost it. It was something about another set of movies coming out, I think. Not the Morbius stuff, though.
Ugh. Did we mention that already with Jared Leto being
I think we did when it was first announced,
okay?
but it was a
Because that
while
seems
ago.
silly. The whole Sony cinematic universe.
And we've talked about the game, but
Oh
uh,
right.
the Spider-Man first set of DLC came out.
Did you play?
Oh yeah, and the it's handled great.
Is it?
I've always been in love with Black Cat. I've always wanted it to work with her and Peter. Mary Jane is great, but Black Cat's the one.
You think Black Cat's the one?
I
You
mean,
think
she
he's
is,
stuffed
man.
up?
You don't ever have to damsel in distress with her. You know,
Oh, never.
she
You don't have
can
to know.
handle herself.
Nope.
She's clearly like into him. The chemistry is there. She got to stop stealing stuff.
Yeah,
She gotta stop stealing stuff.
she's got to be like she's got to stop being Catwoman.
Yeah, she's got to turn the klepto down
Yeah.
just a teensy wink.
Yeah, like you gotta get that stuff checked.
Yeah.
Just check it in a little bit.
Also, I started playing Red Dead, and that game is insane.
Is it amazing?
It is kind of.
I
I can't
saw
wait to see what the multiplayer looks like because if I can make a cowboy version of myself, I'm definitely
you want to
doing it.
do that. I saw a clip
Oh,
of you petting it, somebody petting a dog, and I was like, that's cool. You can do that.
oh yeah, you can pet all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
I have a horse named Kuro
nice.
that he's got like a crescent moon on his head. You can brush him and pat him and all
That's
kinds of crap.
amazing that it got that detailed.
Yeah, but it's permadeath for them. So if Kuro
Oh
dies, Kuro's
no,
dead, and I gotta be sad about
you're gonna be
it.
sad. You can't like name your next horse Kuro too.
Well, I'd have to find another one with that coat and everything. You get,
Oh, so you
yeah,
can't make them. You have to find them.
yeah, you have to find them and
Oh
break
wow.
them.
Okay, cool. That's all right.
But the game is insane. So much,
It
it's
looks
too much
insane.
detail, really.
Didn't it make a lot of money?
Yeah, it's I think the largest 3-day opening, however you want to call it, in
Hmm.
entertainment history. Actually, it
In
made.
entertainment, so it broke film.
Oh
It
yeah, the GTA 5 when it came out
broke
did
film.
the same thing, but it was like 510 million or
And this one is
550
how
million,
much?
something like that. It like beat Avengers,
And this
which
one
was.
beat that.
Oh yeah, it was in the first 3 days of sales, they did 725 million in coffee. So yeah, it was insane.
Sure, it's different with games because games cost more, but
They do for sure.
wow, wow, wow.
Especially now where uh, a base version of a game will come out at $60, because that's $60 is kind of like what everyone considers the standard game
Mm-hmm,
price.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so, in an effort to say, like, see, games don't cost more, you can still get them for $60. You can, but it's like the vanilla version of the
Yeah, yeah,
game.
yeah. It's the
If you want
most bare bones.
good versions of the game,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta get the Diamond Edition or the Deluxe
Which is
Digital,
like
or blah blah blah,
120 or
which is like
whatever.
usually an extra 25 to $40.
How do they
And
do this? I understand. I mean, it's a very expensive thing to make them. Yeah.
yeah, and especially that game had
Mm.
to cost upwards of like 400+ million
Because
to
it's
make.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous and crazy detailed.
Mm,
There's so
mm,
much
mm.
shit that could happen in that world. I I went to like a New Orleans town and met a eugenics supporter, which I don't know if you're familiar with eugenics, but it is like the theory of like races being better than others.
Oh, okay.
So
Yep, yep.
telling me not to like intermingle
Sure.
with the others. I gotta stay pure, or else my kids will been or end up being uh, bossed around by monkeys. He said,
Cool. That's weird.
which
That's a
was,
weird way of
yeah,
saying things.
yeah, which was neat. So I chased him into a cemetery and I threw knives at his head.
Of course,
And
that's the only thing you
yeah,
should do. Like, if you see something like that in real life, I'm going to chase you into cemetery so I can throw knives in your face.
yeah, so that happened. Also, apparently, there's like KKK rallies you can find, and if you like blow them up, it doesn't affect your honor at all.
Oh,
Like
nice.
everything normally affects your honor,
Well, you get like
but
a badge
yeah,
that says
yeah,
"Killed
and somebody
KKK."
walks up and high fives.
It's 4K. It's instead of threes because
But
it's
there's
killed
crazy shit.
KKK.
I saw somebody playing, and some of the shit I have not seen still, but I saw somebody playing where there was like a naked dude running through the woods, and he like ran into the fog, and then a wolf ran back out.
So he's a werewolf.
I
Are they
guess
doing
so.
stuff like? Will DLCs get into some weird shit?
Probably because the first game put out like a whole expansion that was like a zombie version of the game
All
where it was like
right,
a new story and
that
everything.
was that game. That's right.
But this one has like all kinds of crazy shit in the game already. You just have to like
Get
find
to
it
it.
by
Okay.
happenstance. There's like I saw somebody playing. There's like a ghost train somewhere in the game.
Mm.
The werewolf thing, obviously. I heard you can meet like vampires. I heard um, there's like if there's a cult or something that's obsessed with like maybe there's alien creatures or something like that.
Wow. So
And then I
Cowboy
heard,
versus Aliens.
yeah, like if you go back to that cabin at the time that they thought they were going to be abducted, then if you're inside the cabin, if you're like looking through the cracks in the ceiling, you can see like a UFO or something.
That's pretty
I was like,
cool.
what the fuck? I've not
Yeah,
seen any of this
that's
shit.
pretty cool. I wonder if
Yeah,
they'll have like DLCs down the line where it's like Westworld. This is all actually fake.
just started watching Westworld.
Oh, what do you
I,
think?
I saw the first three
Do you
episodes. Or
like?
I saw episode two and three. I didn't see the first
Do you
episode.
like?
It seemed decent. It's speaking of that though, it's got the villain from Punisher is like one of the main guys
Yep,
on that show.
he's good.
Yeah, and the show seems very weird.
Jigsaw,
Yes, yes,
which
Jigsaw
I
guy.
think they showed photos of him what he looks like in Punisher 2 already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I seen that.
He just got scars.
Oh yeah, I did see it.
Yeah.
He's not nearly as messed up as I thought he would be.
No, he's still yeah. I think he was great in Punisher too. By the way, in
Yeah,
Punisher,
he
by
was
the way.
fantastic.
Again, solid villains. These ones.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Marvel TV does solid villains.
hmm Kingpin, man.
Dude,
He's
Kingpin. That episode. All right, we got to record that sometime this
We'll have
week.
to record that soon. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Actually, yeah, that
Um,
makes sense. Let's do it.
but yeah, so I guess that wraps up this episode. And now the art piece is done
Should be
down
done
here.
down here.
Should
It'll
be
be in
done.
speed time lapse, so you'll see it.
So
I don't remember what I drew, but
drew Venom
I do. Okay, there we go. Cool.
doing like scary pose, and I
Real? I don't
drew
remember it at all.
some very odd looking Spider-Man with
Sweet.
the black stuff.
Sweet.
And yeah. So
And
I guess until the next one, guys, which
yep.
hopefully is way sooner than the last one, guys.
You mean last week? Wink.
Yeah. Stay chipper, chaps.
Yep. Stay chipper.